Hi friends, so let's start with today's analysis. And as usual, we'll start with the global phenomena first because a lot of things are happening globally and probably they're affecting our markets to a large extent. So we'll start with, as usual, Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump has told that he will now be putting 25% tariff on chips, on autos, and on pharma. So autos, anyways, it was there in his list previously also. I think yesterday or day before yesterday he added pharma as well, and now he's telling on chips also. So that is creating some kind of volatility and some kind of nervousness, but it is not evitable on any of the market performance as such. Why I'm saying is today again after this news which is broken out, yesterday S&P closed at all-time high. Dow is again very close to its all-time high anyway. So US markets are not getting worried at all. Yes, there was a spike in bond yields, but that was probably because the US markets were opened after 3 days and they've swallowed a lot of data which is coming for the last 2, 3 days. And bond yields are now touching around 4.55. They are getting stable at those levels. Dollar index, we saw a spike, but yesterday, from yesterday onwards till today, it is pretty flat. So it is still hovering around 107. Had it been a previous, or let's say 3 months before kind of a scenario, we would have seen at least the dollar index inch up by around 108 kind of levels after seeing such a news of 25% tariffs. But I think US markets also knows, the expert also knows that these are all the gimmicks of Mr. Trump and he will not be able to put this kind of blatant tariffs on the countries. Moreover, the countries are also not reacting now. See, what is happening is Trump is now playing his mind game again and again in various news conferences or wherever he's giving his speeches. He's again and again giving those threats of tariffs to bring people on table. But people are not coming on table to look for those deals. Yes, India has gone there and India has shown a kind of a gesture. But if you see China, China has not shown any kind of gesture as such for whatever tariffs he has put. He has put 10% tariffs. China is still silent. No phone call has happened. No talks have happened between the two countries. And China is saying, you put as many tariffs if you want. I'm just sitting around. He wants to have a talk, but it cannot be one-sided. That's what his probably their stance is. Even Europe, if you see, Europe yesterday again closed at all-time highs. Although Europe stock market is moving because mostly because of the defense stocks, as Mr. Trump wants that Europe should increase their defense spending to around 5% of GDP, 2.5% of GDP. That is what is taking the defense stocks higher, and that is what is putting the indexes higher. But Europe is also not falling very badly on his knees. There have been tariffs announced on steel and aluminium. Again, Canada, Mexico, Europe will be hit because of that. Yesterday, what he is trying to put tariffs on autos. Again, it will be a loss making for these kind of countries. But they're not going and telling that okay, let's sit together and let's find out a way because they tried to do that initially. But Trump, I think he's too eager to put his threat across the world, which is not happening. And let me tell you what happened in between 2018 and 17 when Trump was doing his first tenure. He tried to play such kind of a gimmick with South Korea. South Korea didn't even talk. They told, okay, you put whatever tariffs you want to put. Ultimately, Mr. Trump has to kneel down, and then there was a mediation happened, and then something sorted out. So the world is keeping quiet, and the way Mr. Trump is announcing, the way of the kind of eagerness and the kind of encouragement he's showing in his tariffs, I think probably it will fall back on US once again. It is the world is not going all out to listen to his threats. Now, why I have taken too much time on this is again my theory, which says that US market should top out. They should top out. And once they start topping out, so the trade which has happened that buy dollars, buy only the mother markets, that will start failing. And I think the triggers have already come. We have seen $1.4 trillion of money which is going into the Chinese markets and the Hong Kong markets. Yesterday there was a news that 22,000 crores of ETF has been bought for Hang Seng yesterday, and that is all by retail. Mind you, unlike India, which where we don't have spine, where we don't have a good skeleton in our back, Chinese markets are controlled by 80 to 90% by retail traders. and they never allow these kind of institutions to earn money from their pockets. So they have taken a lot of stake in ETFs of Hang Seng, and you see a lot of hedge funds are moving towards China. As usual, they have taken a lot of losses. This time also they will take a lot of losses. According to the experts, according to the reports, I think 80% of the trade has already been played out. It's a matter of 1 or 2 weeks when the saturation will start appearing in Hang Seng and Chinese markets, and again that trade will also halt. So if at all there's a theory that the money has gone from India to these markets, it is slowing down, and that is very much evident into our market action as well. I'll come to that moment. I'll come to Indian markets in a while, but China and probably Hang Seng will reach to its saturation in a moment, in 1 or 2 weeks. US, I think, is probably very close to it topping out. Only one announcement is left out, what is going to announce for corporate tax cuts, which will see a bounce. Otherwise, now it's all negative on US. So, so this was one thing. Second, again, the peace talk happened yesterday between US and Russia, but Europe and Ukraine has not participated in it. I don't know what kind of peace talk had happened, and nothing, as usual, nothing has to come out of it. So nothing has come out. It's just a gesture, not even a gesture. It is just a gimmick to show to the world that yes, I am very worried about world peace order, and I am a very close friend of Mr. Putin, and let China be well aware of it. It is just a showcase. It is just a gimmick. Nothing is progressing on Ukraine peace war as such. I don't think nothing has gone ahead. And at least in yesterday's talks, yes, the intents are very clear. And if Russia wants to close the war, it will close. Ukraine has no power, and they don't have any strength to fight a war with Russia. It was all being fought on Europe and US funds, and it will stop to some extent. It will take 5 or 6 months, 6 months, but it will stop. $21 million of payout by Dodge for voter turnout in India in the last elections. This funding Mr. Trump has stopped. It should stop. I don't know why Dodge or any company in US should fund voter turnout in India. I think it was a pure, very hard thing to believe. And I don't think this money would have gone to BJP anyways. I think it would have gone to the opposition party. But that's okay. And this funding has been stopped, and is rightly so. So nothing much to impact. The volume is very less. Tesla has booked 2 locations for its store, which means Tesla now will be seeing their cars being sold very aggressively in this calendar year itself. They are very aggressive. They already launched the job reports, job requirements we saw yesterday on the websites, and now they've also finalized 2 locations of their stores, which means they are moving very fast in terms of bringing their cars into India. So that will be something to watch out for. Let's see how much it is. Let's see on what pricing they bring in, what kind of models it is, whether it fits to Indian standards. A lot of foreign companies have tried to sold their cars in India, but it's not very easy every time. The kind of service requirements, a lot of things are there, and probably how many people show trust on foreign cars, we will wait and see. But because of this news, auto stocks are generally nervous from the last 2 to 3 days, and probably they will continue to do so because Tesla, they have the money power, they have the muscle power, and now they have the political power as well. So that was nothing. We already spoke on dollar index. It is pretty flat at 107. So nothing to do on that. But now let's come to the pharma sector, which US has announced his tariffs. See, it is again a very pure gimmick. Nothing is going to happen. They cannot afford to do that. So as of now, $850 billion of expenses there in US on medical. Still, after spending so much, 8 crore people in US are not able to get the medical aid. They are devoid of any medical facilities by US government. Uh, India is just exporting $8 billion of generics to US. Moreover, if the tariffs are announced on all the countries, it will become a level playing field. There are no manufacturers in US. Manufacturing units cannot open in a day or in a month or so. It takes years to come by. And if the tariffs are equal for all countries, it will again only make the drugs costlier in China, in US. They will only increase the burden of their medical expenses. Nothing is going to happen. People are not even taking serious to US on these kind of things. Even if we impose tariffs, companies will take some hit on margins, and probably some hit US have to bear in terms of input cost. But the world trade will remain as normal. Uh, who are the biggest exporters to India? So India is exporting $8 billion of generics. Then a lot of generics and medicines are being exported by Ireland, by Switzerland. and around 30 to 40% of medical usage is coming from China. So again, probably the hit is more to China, nothing much on India. And anyways, if it is level playing for all, only the drugs cost will increase, inflation will increase, people will suffer. Nothing is what America is going to gain out of this thing, at least for pharma. Even auto, we already discussed with steel and aluminum, their car will be expending around expensive around $6,000. They cannot afford it. Nothing is going to happen, and no country has told anything now. So the tariffs have been put, everything is silent. This will be a scenario. China 10% tariff has been put, everybody is silent. This will happen. Whatever Trump wants to bring the countries on their knees, it will not happen. People will listen, they will keep quiet, they will adjust their trades, they will adjust their volumes, and the world, they'll adjust their pricing slowly, and the things will become normal. The biggest disadvantage in this will be US. That is why yesterday the big brokers of US have now told that the targets for US S&P, of course, it was 6,500 for this calendar year, but now people have become slightly skeptical, and probably people are saying that now we need to have exposure in other countries. We cannot be dependent only on US markets. That is why I say now the destination will be India once again. You will see the foreign players coming to India again in some bit of time, but the differential trade is probably getting over both in China and US very fast. I'm not saying it has gone over today. It will take 1 or 2 weeks, or it will take 1 month, but it is very close to an end. And that is again a good news for India, because we were never falling because of our cues. Yes, the earnings were bad, but the kind of RBI cuts, the kind of budgets that were announced, we don't deserve to be too low at these levels as such. South Korea, as I told, it happened the same way. They didn't came to their knees, and ultimately US has to bend out. They are also trying to put tariffs on Australia as well. Now there's a free trade agreement on Australia. Still, they are putting tariffs. So the free trade agreement, as such, the entity, the usage, the importance is entirely getting lost. So I think Trump is flowing away. I think it's flowing away too fast. So this is all about the global markets, and now let's come to the Indian markets. So Indian markets yesterday, good thing was that we had some cash buying, although there was a lot of trade from, there was a lot of volume came from the block deal of Airtel, but still at least there was a buying, there was a cash in the markets. FNO also, there was very less selling, and yes, there was no buying as such, but there was very less selling. And we have been seeing that from last 4 days, FIs have been buying in FNO segment, at least in stock futures, if not indexes. So probably we are seeing some kind of a stability in FNO, which is the first trigger where we will start seeing the bottoms being made. Now today again, sixth time in a row we have touched those levels of around 20 to 800, and we moved ahead. Today was the actual day. It was all set. We had two bad newses, and if the market wanted to be weak, if the markets wanted to add short from here, if the market wanted to break those 2200 levels, today was the day. Why I'm saying it? Two bad news came. One was this tariff war, which came from 25% on pharma, autos, and chips. Chips were least impacted, but still it impacts because we are the net consumer of chips. So anything tariff which I put all around, it affects India. So one big bad news which came from the global front. Second bad news came from Adani stocks, wherein the SCE, some kind of agency in US, they have written a letter to Indian government to give them information for the bribery case which has been inducted in the US courts. So these were the two bad news, and the sentiment was anyways bad. We opened also lower, but today we have reacted very sharply on the broader indexes and even the bank nifty, even the Nifty to a certain extent, and we have covered all the losses, and probably in some of the indices were closed in green as well. So this was the action which I was waiting for. That you have bad news on global markets, you go down and you recover fast, and you end at a reasonable range. If we would have closed a day high, I would have been thrilled. I would have very emphatically told that yes, 22,800 or 22,700 the bottom has been made, and we will not break it for some months to come, until unless we have a big global event. but not because of US now, not because of dollar index now, not because of rupee now, not because of money flowing to China now. According to me, that fortress, the fort, the mountain is becoming bigger and bigger at 22,700, 22,800 levels. I don't see now expiry having below this. I will not be surprised if the expiry now happens above 22,500, up to 23,500 levels or even beyond. So, according to me, the stage is set for some kind of a rebound from here. I don't think we are going back to revisit those levels. Today, also Nifty probably 3 or 4 times it happened: green, red, green, red, green, red. The VIX came down. That means the positioning, the call writers of 23,000 levels have exited. There will be some panic in 22, 23,100 and 23,200 levels tomorrow. Tomorrow is expiry day, and I'm expecting a big rocking day tomorrow. According to me, tomorrow will be a big move either sides. And according to me, the chances, the probability of a big move towards upside is much larger. The kind of movement today happened. Bank Nifty, we saw a very good steady move. So it opened lower, it gained from here, and we closed almost a day high. In between, we went around 200, 300 points down, but we recovered and we again went to 2 days high, which means shorts were covered. I think long would have been also added today. I will not be surprised if we see some long positions of FIs today. We are around 16% net long FIs, if we say that, and around 1,80,000 kind of shorts. I will not be surprised if the short would have been cut today. I will not be surprised if the long would have been added today. Today's FR data will be very important, very interesting. According to me, it will be a data suggesting that the bottom has been done, it has been made. Nifty was managed, Nifty was intentionally kept lower with the help of Nifty IT. That was the index which was continuously dragging down the Nifty. There was no reason uh, today for the Nifty I2 to fall down. Nasdaq closed in green for consecutive 4 days. S&P has closed at all-time high. Both Dow and Nasdaq, anyways, are very close to their all-time highs. There was no news, there were no results. Rupee was stable, which means only the index was managed to cover the shorts. It was kept down. Nifty IT was kept down, and to in order to manage the Nifty, Bank Nifty, we saw a good rally. Pharma, with this kind of bad news also, it was just a tweak in red. Autos also, I think probably they were in green, most of the stocks. So I don't think that today's Nifty was a disappointment. According to it was intentionally kept down to just to cover the shorts with the help of Nifty IT. On Nifty IT, there's no negative news. Remember, Nifty IT is trading below 200 exponential moving average, and there are good tailwinds for Nifty IT anyways. If US has to do good, if the US has to become mega kind of a policy, mega great again, then all the benefits to a certain extent comes to Indian IT as well. So I don't think there was a reason for such kind of a choppiness in IT. It was purely to manage Nifty, and we'll see some kind of recovery tomorrow. Nifty IT should lead this kind of recovery tomorrow, followed by Nifty Bank. Nifty Bank is looking anyways very strong from here. The reason is Nifty. If we even if we see the latest highs of Nifty on a budget day, or let's say 1 or 2 days after that, we touched around 823, 850 levels in Nifty, and we have completely retraced and we went below our 27 January lows. But in Bank Nifty, we only retraced 50%. So the low was 47,800, but we have touched around 48,800, 48,900 kind of levels, and we have again turn around from there. So Bank Nifty, according to me, is looking very poised for 5,500, 51,000 kind of levels. If it might happen in this expiry as well. And if we are seeing the buying in bigger banks and Bank Nifty, which means FIs are back. They are back. At least we'll not see now a selling from FIs. If everything remains constant, we'll see a recovery gradually from here on, and probably some kind of buying also. And today also, I think there was serious buying in many of the stocks. Large mid caps and small caps were phenomenal. People always say that you just remain concentrated to large cap. The problem is large caps are being dominated by FIAs. They are being played by FIs. It's very difficult to play long term story in this kind of stock, because FIs are trading 160 countries. For them, it is very easy to shift from one country to another, and that's kind of trades take hit. This is a Nifty stock which take a lot of hit because of that. So probably you can have a balanced portfolio, some from small cap, some from mid cap. Small cap, I still see some fraud, so be careful in small cap. But yes, mid cap to a certain extent, some of the stocks, and probably Nifty is looking very benign. I've already told you that it is trading at a discount. Bank Nifty is trading at a discount of around 10 to 12% from its mean average. So Bank Nifty is also looking, valuation point of view, also it is looking very good. The only negative of banking sector is that the credit growth, which was there 15 to 16% for the last 2 3 years, it came down to 11%. But I think if the government spending goes up and the rate cuts and budgets, they start triggering in advantages, probably we'll see a recovery from here on once again. It will take some time, but the recovery should be on the cards. So that's another thing. So this was so I would say that the recovery probably is good in terms of our market today. Also, I was listening to Mr. Riddham Desai, who's the head strategist in Morgan Stanley, and he used a very good term that he sees or he tries to have a factor which he calls that how much Sensex I can buy with 1 ounce of gold. And according to him, Sensex today in terms of gold is trading at the lowest. It is trading even lower than the COVID lows. And the reason is very simple. Sensex has come down from last 3 to 4 months, and the gold has rallied around 15 20% in last 3 4 months. So that is why the disbalance is there, but it is available the cheapest, which again suggests that Nifty and Sensex are very very close to their bottoms, or probably the bottom has already been done. So yesterday also I told that the levels have come to go long in probably in our markets now. It's looking very benign now. So if it since we're talking about gold also, so gold probably yesterday again it bounced around 2% up, but be very careful in gold. If you see in US, a lot of buying is happening in terms of physical gold. Even the hedge funds probably it's 7 to 1 kind of long short ratio. People are very long in gold, and generally I've seen when these things happen, generally contra trades play out. Some people are saying that there's a conspiracy theory happening. US is buying a lot of gold because audits have not happened, and whatever gold has to be there in their central banks, it's not there. And now the audits have been announced, so people want to bring with gold. But let's forget all these things. Gold, as such, I've been telling from last 3 4 5 days, book profits in gold. Gold will remain sideways now. It may go up to 3%, it will come down to 3%. It will remain in a very sideways range now. I don't see gold moving very higher. Although Goldman Sachs has given a target of 3100 on the gold, and around I think around 58% of the brokers in US think that gold will outperform the equity markets by a huge margin in this year also. Let's see how it goes. But generally, I've seen that when the market becomes so bullish and when the experts become so bullish, that is the time the top is made. And according to me, gold is showing signs of some kind of stockiness. So if somebody has taken gold from lower levels, probably you should book partial profit or a greater profit or even entire profit also. I don't think there is any harm in doing that. So this is what the entire discussion on the global markets and the Indian markets has been. My nutshell theory remains the same that 22,700, 22,800 levels should not break from here until unless we see some kind of a major event now. Even if it goes below it, it will be very shallow. It will be very, a very abrupt, a very small, tiny kind of bottom or let's say level. Nifty, Sensex with the kind of earnings, with the kind of scenario now that we have in terms of world scenario, probably has formed its bottom. We are moving ahead with a W-shaped recovery. Let's see how much can we recover from here, from where again the selling should come out. According to me, we should touch 23,800, 24,000 levels, even 24,200. But that will be the highest point from where we should again retrace back. But let's see how it happens. We'll go tick by tick. Tomorrow's day will be very important. I expect some kind of fireworks tomorrow on the upside. Let's see markets do that or not. But the stage is set. With this, I end my today's video. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much.